Hey everyone, Carrie Beck here with Homeschool Coffee Break, where we help you stop the overwhelm and take a coffee break. We are talking today about how do we raise our kids? What's the secret to raising our kids so they are self-motivated? Some of you, I know you're thinking that is totally impossible, but I want to talk to you about how can we move from forced lessons to natural curiosity and interest. If you have ever felt like you're dragging your kids through every lesson, or they just will not do anything and all they do is complain. We're going to talk about some secrets so that they will actually want to learn. You don't need to push them, you need to ignite them. What are some specific practical strategies that you can use? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about how you can shift from forced lessons to fueling that natural curiosity. Discover the mindset shift and practical, and some of that is in you, Mom. It's not just your kids' mindset, it is you. So let's talk about that. Practical tools to inspire them to be self motivated. If you have not subscribed to our channel, would you please click the button right now and do that so we can get this out to more and more people? And leave us a review or a comment wherever you are listening to this. Motivated learners, self motivated learners. Why does motivation even matter? Well, let's be honest, kids can be curious and really eager to learn. It is built into them by God to really desire to know more and more. Why do 3 and 4 year olds ask that number one question? Why? Because they really don't know. They are truly curious. And a lot of times they can continue those questions, but a lot of times we squelch it, we get rid of it, and then they could care less about anything that has learning. I believe true learning happens when your kids are engaged and curious and interested, not just going through the motions. Mom gave me something to do, so I'll sit down and do it. But they are engaged and they are curious. The problem today is our lessons, especially from traditional curriculum, they are too structured, they have rigid schedules, they have checklists, and they are comparing your child to the normal child, whatever that normal child is. And that can completely squash their spark. Think about a preschooler. They are asking why all the time. They are interested in so many things. I have got a 3 and a 5 year old that are still very interested. Even my 7 and 10 year old are also, but those ages of 2, 3, 4, and 5, that everything is new to them. You've got 30 more years experience. It's all new to them. So be patient with them when they're curious. Don't put them in front of a desk and say, okay, this is learning, this is school, and give them a stack of workbooks. They're going to go, I'm not going to do that again. You know, in Proverbs 25:2, it says, it is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings. What is the glory of a king? To search it out and to figure out what's going on. And another place in Proverbs 18:15, the heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. If you want to raise your kids to wisdom and discernment, they need to be seeking out things on their own, not just because mom tells them to. You know, I'm sure you've heard the man Albert Einstein. He did not do well in traditional school settings. Teachers thought he was lazy and not focused. Yeah, we're talking Albert Einstein. But what happened was he thrived when he was allowed to learn freely, to explore ideas freely. He famously said, I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. Are your kids passionately curious? Or have you told them what to be interested in? If you're constantly telling them what to study, they're going to lose curiosity and they're not really going to care about any kind of learning. Albert Einstein's parents encouraged his interests, especially science and violin. His father actually gave him a compass, and Albert was obsessed with it and all the invisible forces of that compass and the magnetic north and south and all of that. That curiosity led him to many scientific discoveries. His mother, on the other hand, encouraged him in music, books, and deep thinking. In fact, He credited curiosity as the foundation of his success. He said his mom pulled him out of school, taught him at home, and encouraged exploration and self-directed learning. Would you like your kids to grow up with the curiosity of Albert Einstein? I would think that would be great. He actually said, "My mother was the making of me. She was so true, so sure of me." See, are you sure of your kids, or do you feel like you have to tell them everything? Tell them what to study. If you're always telling them what to study, what to learn, there is no ownership, there is no leadership, there is no curiosity. You are just basically saying, hey, learn what I'm telling you to. And I was not perfect at this. There were certain required subjects in elementary school that was reading, writing, and history. And the rest, we just sort of followed our own interests. In the upper grades, especially in high school, humanities, which did include literature and writing and history, some theology and arts. It was about an hour a day. The rest of the time, they chose. My daughter didn't actually not finish algebra 2, but the girls took astronomy classes. So I got a lot looser as time went by. Think about this: belief plus freedom equals self-motivation. You see, Albert Einstein's mom believed in him and gave him that freedom. So she had to do things, and that gave him self-motivation. One encourager can change everything. Will you be that one encourager for your children? Or will you squelch it? Kids who are allowed to follow curiosity freely, they go farther than we can even imagine. So, create an atmosphere of curiosity. How do you do this? You may not think, well, I can't do exactly what Albert Einstein's parents did. Fine, let's talk about you. Ditch the pressure and fill your home with fun learning things. And I would say with books. I can tell you, I believe every room in our house, yes, including the bathrooms, have books in them. They have books everywhere. Every bedroom, our living room. Okay, the dining room does not. I will tell you that. But all the other rooms have bookshelves with books in it. We had puzzles, we had maps, globes, we had a bucket of nature supplies, our science supplies, and we had art supplies. What is your home full of? If it's just full of workbooks and curriculum and iPads and all of that, I would encourage you to go find real things that are hands-on that your kids can learn from. I'm not opposed to iPads and devices, but I would start with some things they can actually touch tactilely and learn from, and then go to the videos to learn more about that on your devices. Is your home full of those things? Or is it just full of pretty things they can't touch? I think it's important that you say yes more often when your child shows interest, even if it's not in your plan book. Some of y'all have heard my story. Hunter was supposed to be writing a 5-paragraph paper or learning how to write about a person. And it was a 5-paragraph paper. And I'm thinking, oh, we're studying ancient Rome. He could write about the emperors. And he was like, okay. And I thought, he is not interested at all. The next day I said, hey, we just bought that biography about Derek Jeter, who was the New York Yankees shortstop, greatest one probably of all times. I said, what if you wrote it about them? His eyes got big and he's like, well, yeah. And then not only did we write about Derek Jeter and learn how to write and learn more about him as a person, then we started to study the science and the mathematics of baseball and all the ratios and the throwing and all that speed and all that kind of stuff. So even if it's not in your plan book, my plan book was ancient Rome emperors. I'll pivot it. Do you think that Hunter did a better job and learned more about writing by writing about Derek Jeter or about the emperor that was in my plan book? Think about it. Instead of just stuffing information into your kids, spark wonder and leave room for boredom. So you want to give them a chance to follow their interests, but also leave room for boredom. Why? Curiosity is born out of boredom. Creativity is born out of boredom. So sometimes your kids may be bored. Let them be bored. Let them go find something to do, and creativity will be sparked. Allow them to be obsessed with different topics, even if it's not what you're interested in. Use read-alouds, nature walks, field trips, documentaries, and deep questions. And we can talk more about questions in another session because I think that is another thing that will spark thinking. If your child sees a butterfly emerge and asks how it happened, that can lead down the rabbit trails, books from the library, videos, art projects, poetry, story writing, all sorts of things that are child-led, not parent-pushed. So if they're interested in something, I would say hop in the car and get to the library and start getting some books on their age level that they can learn more about it. So create an atmosphere of curiosity, let them follow their interests, let them be bored as well, even if it's outside your comfort zone. Next, I've already talked about this, but we're going to dive deeper in their interests. Focus on interests, not just instruction. I got a little ahead of myself. Integrate their passion into your schoolwork. Math with Legos, writing through comics, history through stories. And this allows them to take ownership and leadership. When you are constantly telling your child what to do, they are growing up to be a follower, not a leader, not an owner of what they are learning about. And you can do this with pretty much all different topics. Like I just told you about baseball. We could cover reading and math and science and even history. What's the history of baseball? I don't know. You can cover a lot of information for 2 or 3 weeks just on Derek Jeter and baseball. This allows your kids to take ownership. What are your children interested in? This is coming out towards the end of a traditional school year. Why don't you just take the next month and let your kids pursue what they are interested in? And if you don't finish your curriculum, pick it up in September, whenever you're going to start again. You could also, in the interest, following their interest, use our read, write, discuss method. That can be used in any subject area. You read every day about whatever the topic is. You write one page every day about that topic, and you discuss it once a week. Read, write, discuss. We will put a chart, a free chart in the show notes that will go deeper into that. But that is a great way to pursue their interests and get them to think critically. Think about this. A child who is obsessed with horses can actually learn math by budgeting for riding lessons or budgeting for the cost of keeping up and housing a horse. Can learn about history by reading historical fiction on farms. Can read books about I wish I had written this one down. I want to say it's Marguerite, someone, horse books. The younger kids' book is Blaze and Billy. You can use those books for copy work, for narration, for rewriting in your own words, whatever it is, imitation. You can take any topic and fill that out with those subject areas. But maybe you're not so sure. I don't think I can let go of control. Then offer some freedom within boundaries. Maybe you have a basket of books that you've approved of with a wide variety of topics and say you can pick any book from this basket or choose one experiment from this list. So you can, if you're having a hard time letting go of control, pick a good 10 or 15 things and then let them make a decision. Learning will be more personal and more meaningful when you let your child follow interest. So curiosity and interest, let them be bored. You don't have to bribe, beg, or battle with your kids in their head. First, you need to change your mindset that any topic can be studied and they are truly being educated. That's your mindset. Then you need to allow your kids some freedom. Self-motivation grows in the right environment when you, mom, have changed your mindset, when you respect them, you inspire them, and you trust them to wonder and be bored and create creativity. Trust that curiosity, once sparked, will grow when nurtured with time, space, and support. So think about this. Invite curiosity, celebrate progress, and trust that the spark God placed in your child is still there. It is. You may just have to give it some time to come back to life if they've just been doing all the workbooks. So invite curiosity, celebrate progress, and trust that the spark God placed in them is still there. You don't have to entertain. You don't have to control everything. Just open the door to learning. Now, if you want to nurture this mindset in your own homeschool, I have a read aloud book list that is completely free. It will be in the show notes, and it can start a long list of ideas of books that your kids might be interested if you're not sure where to get started. It is a great list to be able to get started on read aloud. And also, you might find some books in there for just individual reading to spark their curiosity. Hey, thanks so much for spending time with me. I am Carrie Beck with Homeschool Coffee Break. We'll talk to you next time.